everyone, I'm Denise.
And I'm Georgie.
And we also call ourselves a happy vegan couple. Well, Georgie's making another great recipe for you today. Baked cauliflower wings with buffalo sauce. But here's the cool thing. None of that oil deep fried that you typically get in the restaurants and the bars. This is healthy cauliflower wings. So one thing I want to mention, you know, whenever we cook with a cruciferous vegetable, and if you've been watching our videos, you've heard me say this before, we typically cut that vegetable up and let it sit on our counter for 45 minutes before throwing it on the heat. And the reason for that is in that time on the counter, a compound is bloomed called sulforaphane, which is great for anti-cancer, anti-inflammation. So we want to, you know, take advantage of that, right? So that's what we would normally do if we were making this in our own time. We'd cut up that cauliflower and let it sit for 45 minutes. But in the video, we just get to cooking, okay? So just wanted to mention that for you to remind you. Okay, are we ready to get cooking?
Yeah, let's get going.
All right, enjoy the video.
It's gonna be delicious. Okay, let's get started on our baked cauliflower wings with a buffalo sauce. The first thing I did is I turned my oven up to 450. It's already up to 380 because we want it to be nice and hot when we get this going. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I make my breadcrumbs. And I use Dave's Killer Bread, which is 21 grains. It's a very good bread. And what I do is I take and I cut all the crust off. As you can see, the crust is gone. Then I place it on a baking tray like that. And I bake it for 2 hours at 170. A lot of stoves might be different, but with my stove, it is just 170 degrees. I keep warm. And it's an electric stove. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in my food processor, if you want to come over here, Denise, how I take the bread.
Do you want to show how crispy it is, Georgie?
Yes, I'm going to show you how crunchy it is. What you want is, it might take a couple hours, maybe 2.5 hours to get this crunch, but you want to be able to listen to no moisture, just like croutons. And that's what you want to have.
Now, when you cook it in the oven, you turn it over, right?
Yes, I turn it over every 30 minutes, 20 minutes. You know, the more you turn it over, the more the moisture comes out of it. So we're going to use half of this right here just to show you.
I think for this recipe, we need like 3/4 cup of breadcrumbs.
Right. And I always make extra because you can put it in the freezer and freeze it. And it's not going to get moisture or anything as long as you close it up. And you can use it for future recipes. So this might take a second just to crunch this up. If you want to come a little closer just to show it. It still needs to be a little bit more blended. As you can see, there's big crunch pieces in there. Now, what you want to do is you want to use whole wheat. If you can't do it this way, try to buy whole wheat breadcrumbs. If you can, that's why I buy the and that looks pretty good. You know, you still have some big pieces, which is going to give you more crunchiness on this. So we're good with that. The next thing we're going to do is our cauliflower, which is here. I've already washed it, rinsed it, and removed the flower or the leaves. A lot of the cauliflower comes with leaves on it. Just want to cut those out. Then what we're going to do is just cut this in half, like that. Then we're going to cut the heart out of the cauliflower so we can get to the florets. Now, we're not going to throw this away. We're going to use this piece here. So with the florets, oh, there's the stove. It's ready. We're just going to make them about that size, 1 inch by 1 inch. If you can, do it that way. And a lot of times you don't have to cut it. you just break it off. And it's a lot easier to break it off than to cut it. And we'll just save that, and I'll show you what to do with that. To me, cauliflower is a chop-friendly vegetable because you can break it instead of just using your knife all the time. And with these pieces here that I have in the middle, I'm just going to slice them and make other pieces because those are very good too. There's no reason to throw it away. Then I'm going to go with the next one. I'm going to cut the heart out again. As you can see, there's the heart. And then just take and break them apart.
And like I talked about in the opening of our video, if we weren't doing the video right now, we would let this cauliflower sit on our counter for 45 minutes before we actually start the process and put it in the oven. We want to always bloom that sulforaphane.
Sulforaphane. Okay, got a couple big pieces here. Just cut that in half. And then I'm going to take the heart and I'm going to slice it because there's no reason not to eat that. Oop. Nice head of cauliflower, and that's about what you want as far as the heads, the cauliflower pieces go. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the batter.
Oh no, we're going to do the crumbs.
Oh, the crumbs, okay. We'll do the crumbs next, okay. So with the crumbs, I need 3/4 of a cup of the crumbs, which is about probably what I have here.
But measure it out, okay?
If you can see what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
3/4. Okay, a little extra. Then I'm going to start with my teaspoon of onion powder.
So we're going to add some seasonings to our crumbs.
Teaspoon of garlic powder. Then we're going to get a 1/2 teaspoon of sweet paprika. If it says paprika, it's sweet. If it says smoked paprika, it's not sweet. So that's how you can tell the difference between the paprikas. Okay. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And you can leave the salt out if you don't like saltiness.
I don't really notice the salt in the recipe though.
Right, because it's not a lot. It's a 1/4 teaspoon, it's not a lot. And then a pinch of cayenne if you want it, or chili powder. I'm not going to put that in today. Let me get a spoon.
That's because Denise doesn't want too much hot spice. The hot spice in the buffalo sauce is enough for me. And so you're just stirring that up, and then we're going to put that to a side, right, until we're ready for it.
Yes. Just mix that up. Now, let me get something else too.
So the next we're going to make the batter
Yes.
for our cauliflower, and Georgie's just moving things here. And the goal is to make it kind of like a pancake batter in terms of its texture.
Okay, 1/3 of a cup plus a tablespoon of the whole wheat flour. Kind of odd, but we'll do 1 tablespoon of the whole wheat flour.
Now I'm just going to mention The people we got this recipe from, they're actually gluten-free, so they were not using whole wheat flour.
Right.
But Georgie and I have no problems with gluten, and we love to eat whole grain, whole wheat flour, so that's why we're using it in our recipe. But if anybody's gluten-free, you can certainly use a gluten-free flour instead.
Okay, we're gonna do a teaspoon of onion powder, and we're using only 5 spices for this. The black pepper, onion powder, salt, and the paprika. You know, that's pretty simple. Oh, 1 teaspoon.
Of which now?
The onion powder.
Okay.
1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And we don't use garlic salt or onion salt. Just use the powder. Better for your health. Then I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. We actually get our nutritional yeast from Trader Joe's, but I save this container because it's so convenient, because all you have to do is open up the top and you don't have to deal with the bag. So 2 tablespoons. And then I'm going to use a tablespoon of raw almond butter. And I like to just do a guesstimate because it's just so, you lose so much in the spoon. I just use the back and I do it 2 times. Just to maybe to get that tablespoon. Then we'll just scrape that off.
See how it's looking in the bowl.
See, it's not stuck in the middle of the spoon. It's on the outside, so.
Okay.
Then we're gonna use a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. That's why I have an extra little spoon here, so.
Yeah, so you see how our spices, a lot of them are the same that we use for the crumb coating.
Yes, all of it is the same. Onion, garlic, black pepper, salt, paprika. Okay. Then I'm gonna mix that around a little bit, and I'm gonna put some soy milk in here. I'm gonna use a 1/2 cup. Oh, where's my 1/2 cup?
Actually, why don't you use the liquid? Because that's what, it's better for the liquid.
1/2 cup of soy milk.
Okay, he doesn't want to do the liquid measuring, obviously.
Plus 1 tablespoon, it says.
And of course, our soy milk is unsweetened.
And here's our batter that we're gonna pour our cauliflower into. Just gonna mix it up really good.
So what about the tahini? Oh, that's for the sauce, the buffalo
Yes.
sauce?
Yes,
Okay,
there's no tahini in
in
this.
this part. Okay.
So what you want is a thin pancake batter look. As you can see, it is a very thin pancake batter. Then we're gonna take our cauliflower and we're gonna put it inside that. And we're gonna mix that up so that everything gets coated with this seasonings and everything else. And last time I made this, I put a little bit too much liquid in it, and it worked out okay because I was able to
Okay,
take.
we didn't put the crumbs on.
No, I haven't done them yet. That's here. Okay, now you can see that almost everything is covered with our batter. Got some covered. Let's get some more here. Just mix it up really good so you can get as much of that as you can on there.
Oh, I see. You put the batter first and then you do the
Yes,
crumbs.
then we're gonna do the breadcrumbs.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me get rid of this. So bring this over here. Here's our breadcrumbs that we've got for our cauliflower. And what we're gonna do is just take one and maybe 4 or 5 pieces at a time and shake it up. Get everything nice and coated and just bring it out, lay it on your tray like that.
And you do want to have space between the
Right, because
cauliflower,
you-
so move that one over.
Right, you
because
don't-
you don't
you-
want it to steam. You don't want them touching.
It's gonna make a lot crispier. If you-
Georgie, you want to move some of those? They're touching. You don't
That's
want
okay.
them touching.
I'll fix it before I put
Okay.
it in. And it's just a matter of shaking it.
You know, when you first look at the recipe, it kind of looks like, oh my gosh, there's so many steps, it's going to be hard. But you can see by Georgie doing this that it's really pretty simple. So we hope you won't feel, you know,
Overwhelmed?
yeah, scared by the recipe because of the steps. Easy process. Now, something else I just want to mention about this recipe, we've actually changed it a little bit from the original. The original actually calls for the buffalo sauce to be baked onto the cauliflower. Right. But because I'm kind of a wimp with hot sauce, Georgie decided, and I liked his idea a lot, that he was just going to make the buffalo sauce a dipping sauce, and that we would just dip the cauliflower in, and then we could decide each of us how much sauce we want on each piece. Somebody like me is only going to take a little bit. Somebody like Georgie is probably going to dab a lot because he loves hot sauce, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is, you know, our adaptation of that recipe. But, you know, if you want to bake it with the buffalo sauce, you know, we include the link, and you can always go onto that recipe. This one comes from Monkey and Me Adventures. They have a lot of great recipes for whole food plant-based eating. And again, you could have another tray if you found that these were too close to each other.
Which I have.
Yeah, they're kind of close. So, I mean,
But they'll be okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put it in the oven. And we're gonna bake it for how long? I'm sorry. 450. Gotta read. 15 minutes. And then we're gonna turn them over and bake them a couple more minutes just to get everything nice and brown. So my oven is at 450. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in.
and you'll set the timer.
Right.
Go set the timer. 15 minutes.
So at this point, let's go ahead and take a break and let me get set up so we can make our buffalo sauce.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Okay, everyone, my cauliflower has cooked for 15 minutes. Now I'm going to take it out of the oven and I'm going to turn everything over as much as I can.
Let's see what it looks like.
Nice and crunchy looking. Just turn over as much as you can.
So do you want to say anything about what it's like halfway through?
Well, it's nice and crunchy looking. Another 15 minutes, it's going to be very, very crunchy. And you don't have to turn every one over. The smaller ones, no big deal. Bigger ones, yes.
We'll get a nice close-up look of it. Oh, yeah.
As you can see, everything's starting to crunchy, and there's no oil. Think about that.
Right, none of that highly caloric oil.
Okay, we're gonna put this back in the oven for another 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and then we'll fix up the buffalo sauce real quick.
Okay,
Okay?
go ahead and put it in.
Okay.
And we'll set our timer. for another 15 minutes. Or do you want to check it in 10?
I'll probably check it in 10.
Okay, then we'll have to remember.
Yeah, because I don't want it to burn.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna make the buffalo sauce for our wings. What I have here is a 1/4 cup of the Trappy's Red Devil hot sauce. I love it. It's got a good flavor. It's not too hot. So we're gonna pour that
Let me
into
see what
our...
it looks like. Okay, very red.
Yes.
But
Then-
it's not too hot, because
No,
I
it's
can't
not.
eat too hot.
Then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of tahini, I'm sorry.
Which is a sesame seed paste.
No, I'm gonna have to go this way.
We're gonna put our tahini is going to give our buffalo sauce a nice creamy taste.
Scrape that out.
I can see my light reflected into the counter.
Okay, then we're gonna do a 1/4 or 1 teaspoon of vegetable broth,
Wow,
or
just
tablespoon, I'm sorry.
a tablespoon, huh?
Gotta rinse it off a little.
Okay,
Okay, I got it.
I'll show our beautiful flowers. Look at those beautiful flowers we get from our Trader Joe's.
Okay, 1 tablespoon.
Okay.
Tablespoon of water. And this is just to thin it out. Then we're gonna get a 1/4 teaspoon of onion and garlic powder. A little bit of each. And there's our onion.
And this sauce is really delicious.
And Denise is all like hot stuff, so it makes it even better that she can eat it.
Right, and now I've been wanting this because it's so delicious.
Okay, and then since my spoons are a little dirty, we're gonna do a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. And we're just gonna mix that up together.
And there you go. That's how easy our sauce is. So now you've seen the whole process. We just got to wait for that cauliflower to finish cooking.
Just mix this up really good because as you can see, the tahini is kind of coagulating, but the more you mix it up, the better it's gonna be. It's gonna mix up really well. And that's it. Makes about a 1/2 cup of sauce. If you need more, just double it or whatever, and it'll hold up in the fridge for at least a week, as long as you have a closed container. Like something like what it comes in. You can use this. You can use a little 99-cent store lemon or container. So there's our hot sauce. Let me taste it. Perfect, look at that. Nice and orange. Good.
All right, so why don't we
Good
come back
flavor.
when we're ready to take out the cauliflower? Sound
Okay, that sounds good to me.
good? Okay.
Okay, I cooked the cauliflower for another 15 minutes. You want to come in a little closer, Denise, to show you that everything is nice and crunchy looking. Look at that. No oil. So we'll take a piece of
And
this.
you might notice there's a little more than when we started.
Yeah, because I had extra cauliflower. So I did 2 pans and I put it in the oven and cooked it at about the same time. So just to show you, it's nice and crunchy looking. Right?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Then we're
Then we're
gonna-
gonna dip it in the hot sauce.
There's our little hot sauce, and you can dip as much as you like.
Here we go.
Bon appetit.
It's top notch. It's crunchy. It's got a nice flavor for the hot sauce, and the tahini come in there. So one more, only because I'm hungry. Good stuff. I hope everybody tries this. Okay.
Okay, everyone, it's my turn to taste this wonderful thing. And like I told you, I normally can't eat hot sauce, but I have found that as long as I don't dip too much, I can enjoy it. So let's see how I think it is.
Perfect.
It's so flavorful. I do feel a little bit of that hot spice, but
Not
I think because of the tahini in here, you know, and everything else, it's just not hot. And the cauliflower is just like so delicious under the breading and the batter that we use. We just hope so much that you will try this recipe. And if you do, let us know in the comments how it turned out for you. We hope it'll be great. And just to remind you all, if this might be the first time that you've been seeing a Happy Vegan Couple video, we hope you'll subscribe to our channel and hit that little notification bell for when we do another video. You know, we do a lot of Zoom teaching, and actually we were just making this for our cooking class that just ended for some people in Chico, California. So, you know, that's why we're not always doing videos on our Happy Vegan Couple, because we're doing teaching on Zoom. But when we do, we want you to know about it, okay? So, until next time, I'm Denise.
And I'm Georgie.
And we're the Happy Vegan Couple.
Couple.
And we hope you will optimize your health by going plant-based. Bye-bye, everybody. See you next time.